So, The Kiss by Anton Chekhov is a short story, probably one of my favorite short stories of all time, and I believe it to have the kind of pinnacle of like the perfect kind of three act structure, where you're set up with this kind of a unsuspecting kind of unsung hero. Like right away, you're introduced to Ryovovich, who is a kind of an awkward, cumbersome, shy, young military member of the military. He is. This was back when Russia was like a kind of the military is a big kind of cultural like identity thing. It was like a now I don't know everything that there is to know about Russian history, but I think like drawing some connections I have from other novels, from whether it's the kind of general images of like Dostoevsky, or the kind of drunken general kind of buffoon kind of stereotype, or if it's like kind of the endless kind of hussar poetry of Denis Dividend, I think his name was, or if it's the kind of ribaldry and all this of excess and all that that's symbolized in a lot of it seemed to be by not necessarily praised by Pushkin, but also kind of maybe satirized as well, definitely to an extent. Like, but he also lived that out to himself, like with the whole duel as well, like him passing away or getting shot in a duel gone wrong. Um, well, not gone wrong, but just gone the way a duel goes, like when it happens. But yeah, but the Kiss with Anton Chekhov came out in 1887. Is like it's almost like perfectly told in the sense that you're led to believe that nothing is in store for this young man at all. Um, that he's that they're on a kind of a sojourning at this place, like they're on an otherwise kind of military campaign. I'm not sure if this is like during like maybe the Crimean War, maybe earlier, but I'm guessing it's contemporary for its time. I'm not sure how far in the past it's set, but definitely some kind of uh, area in Russia, I guess, that they're going on their kind of rounds of military kind of little uh, campaigns and marches, and they end up on this little house of a friend of theirs that they kind of know already, and it's with their General von Rabbik, who is a kind of a fiery kind of manly kind of bravado of like the pinnacle of military, of what like a lot of kind of like the hegemonic male of Russia back then was kind of the very um, the sideburn spout, touting kind of in like proper military dress with all those ribbons um, and ornamentations and all that. Like they're just so decked out. And here's you have this kind of ungainly, kind of diffident and passive young man, Ryobovich, who is staying at the home, and they it's all kind of a night of partying for them, like for the rest of everybody else. And all of them tell great grand stories, and they're all very keep everybody entertained, and they're all garrulous and out, you know, keeping the moment up, and the revelry is high, and everybody's drinking, and everybody except for Ryovovich, who's off in the corner somewhere, just kind of anxiously avoiding everybody, because just hoping that nobody sees him, or that he doesn't make a mistake, because he's too scared that he'll just be cumbersomely ruining something, or he'll say a wrong word, and then he'll that people will hate him. But um, and then he says, early on in the story, he says, "I am the shyest, most modest, and most undistinguished officer in the whole brigade." So right at the he's paints that picture of him, and then he ends up later on in the drawing room of the house. Um, this is back when houses had drawing rooms. It's just kind of dates the story right there. He runs into this young woman about his age, and in the dark, kind of in the middle of how, in the kind of midst of confusion, she kisses him, plants one on his lips, and he is just stunned. He is like, "Ooh, which is like the most, like, I'm so lucky, like, I don't know what it was, and it was a mistake, was it this, was it that, and I don't even care if it was a mistake, and it was just, which is one of my favorite things ever. But yeah, she runs off, and she looks like kind of like as if she made a mistake. So, um, but it's hard to tell because obviously it's dark. So later, so the rest of the story concerns him coming to face the fact that this, she sees him later on, and they're very, I guess, um, unsure, or like how to take the whole thing, or how to process the whole experience. So they're kind of like, um, they both kind of go their separate ways, and it's like it's clear that she's like was meant, like this kiss was meant for somebody else, like it was for meant for an officer, like a, somebody like, more fitting the bill of that kind of prized Russian kind of militaristic kind of person. So this idyllic type, yeah. Rubivich, oh, sorry, is anything but that, and he's like, completely ashamed of himself, and he's like, but then again, he later, it's actually a character arc for him. He grows as a person because he learns that not everything that's like fantasized about in his head is necessarily the truth, and that the world can be cruel like that. Like people can kind of tease and do things, and mistakes happen, and and he didn't do anything wrong either. Like he's, like he was just caught in the middle of it, and but he kind of learns to let go of kind of this idealizing, I guess, of the romanticized moment, and to kind of move on. And he goes on. He's kind of shown, I think, off marching along with the other soldiers by the end of it, kind of learning that. So yeah, I think that's all I have for The Kiss by Chekhov. A little bit by Chekhov about him was that he was, yeah, he was a doctor first, physician. He actually called something, one of his quotes that I really liked, it was something like, I'm actually a doctor first, and who happens to have a love affair with marriage, or I'm sorry, who happens to have a love affair with literature. So that's where he kind of, that's the way he kind of viewed his career. Kind of modest considering the sheer output of stuff that he made. Like he made plays, he made novels, books, and especially short stories, which I kind of, not sure if it's inapt to call him like, kind of the king of the Russian short story. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I'd say like he's definitely, some of his plays involve like the Cherry Orchard, I think. There's some other ones that he did, that were, yeah, that I think were quite popular, that had their own, in the tradition of plays and dramas and theater productions, and even today. So yeah, and sadly he died of tuberculosis in 44, I believe, and unfortunately, like who knows how much more he would have, literary output he would have given had he been, blessed the chance to. But yeah, he is definitely, you know, he has been on my radar for like a little bit now, but he's now more so on my radar. Like now I'm trying to go through another set of his short stories. So yeah, I'll keep you all posted about that, and thanks for watching.